Hey guys, welcome back to Different Faces. I'm Pamela,
And I'm Fatima.
and today's topic we are going to be talking about village. Do you have a village? Does it exist? How it existed before when we were being raised?
I really like this topic because I do feel like there's a difference between the village that we have now compared to the village that our parents had when they were raising us. And
Hmm.
I'm not sure if it is because we are living in different countries. What have you experienced on your end?
I agree that it's different now that we are raising our kids than when our parents were raising us.
Yeah, I don't know
Mhm.
about you, but I remember growing up surrounded by family. I remember both grandparents on both sides being heavily involved, and aunts and uncles, and a lot of like family gatherings. There was never
Hmm.
like a lack of who's gonna watch me or my sister. There was none of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes it was like it was a lot of cousins. So if my mom couldn't watch me for whatever reason, I was at our aunt's house or a grandma's house, and all the aunts will take care of us. All the grandparents, and I mean, it was just completely different than it is today. With, I don't know if it is like us moving further away, but it's just like it's not the same.
Yeah, it's definitely different for sure. I do also remember when I was younger in Peru, always being surrounded by aunts. My aunts took care of me, always being around my cousins when my parents were working. And even, I don't know if you knew this, but when me and my sister, when we were young, maybe like 1 or 2 years old, both my parents went to Japan to work for like a year or two, and they left us with my godmother. So they took care of us. Well, they were in Japan working, saving money.
Wow.
Hmm.
And there was that trust. I think that the family unity that we had back in the days is not the same. And I'm not sure if that's just in like the United States or if it's also in Latin America. Because obviously I'm not there.
Yeah.
Um, I know that, at least as far as my village goes, my village is my parents, my in-laws. I am very, very, very lucky to have my baby's grandparents actively present. Also different because I remember my grandparents being just grandparents, whereas my parents right now are still working. They're in the workforce. It's not like I can just drop them off at
Yeah.
any time. None of us have parents that have retired. Like your
Yeah.
parents are not retired.
Hmm.
I also think that even though in our cases, like family, it's not nearby or not as close, you are somewhere else now,
Hmm.
and you maybe don't have a village where you are.
I don't.
You
My
don't.
village is my husband.
That's what I was gonna ask you, because I feel like the village could be more than just family. In my case, I happen to live next to a neighbor of mine that, since I was pregnant, has always been like there for me, and every time I need a break, a nap, even when I need to hop on a Zoom meeting for work, I can literally just knock on her door and ask her if she can watch baby for like half an hour, and
Well,
she's always there.
does she have kids as well?
She is an empty nester, so
Okay.
she definitely misses the little interactions that you have with little kids. And she's not a grandma yet. She's in that stage where she's an empty nester, but she's not a grandma yet.
Okay.
And she's gonna be a great grandma because Addie is definitely giving her a lot of practice.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I think it's very important to have a support system. And like you said, it doesn't have to be family. It does not have to be family, whether it's a friend, a neighbor, whoever. Having that support system is very important. Mothers, I mean, even fathers, a parent is not, we're not meant to do it alone, I feel like. We do need a support system.
even if it's not to take care of the kids, like one way or another, us doing this podcast, this is support for me.
Oh yeah.
But when you were living here at home, in South Florida, who was your support system? Who was your village?
Oh, my parents. My parents, 100%. Whatever I needed, like they were there always.
Do you think that sometimes women don't have a village because it's hard for us to ask for help?
I can agree with that. Could be that we are not able to ask for help, or maybe we're scared, because some people may think, oh, she's asking for help, she can't do it on her own. Maybe they think like, oh, I'm not being a good mom because I'm asking for help, which that's not the case at all. It's okay to ask for help. you know
Yes.
we're human. We, as much as we try to do everything on our own, it's impossible to do everything on our own. Yeah.
I in the beginning I was having a hard time to asking for help. I think my mom is like my go-to when it comes to taking care of my daughter. She's like the first person I called, and she's like the first one I go for. But my mom
Mhm.
is also in the workforce. She owns a couple of businesses, and so she's a busy person as it is.
Mhm.
And it was, for me, it was very difficult to ask my mother for help, knowing that she's busy. And
Yeah,
then I
not wanting to be an inconvenience.
yes, and then
Mhm.
I'm thinking like I need to start. She has a few grandparents, and she has aunts, and I need to start maybe reaching out more.
Mhm.
Um, and my mom one day just told me, listen, someone taking care of your baby, it's not an inconvenience to any of us that you ask, because she's not a burden. She is she is a delight. She is a
Oh.
privilege for us to take care of. I'm like, oh. So whenever you ask from that perspective. Ask knowing that you giving us time with her, it's something that we are like craving.
Mhm.
So when I switch my mind, like, to, okay, she's not a burden, she's a privilege to have.
When I was at home with my parents, it's not like I used to go out a lot. Honestly, I barely went out. Um, but when I needed my parents to watch my son, or even both of them, they've never said no. When I was pregnant with my daughter, and I needed to go to a doctor's appointment, and my husband was working, I needed someone to watch my son because I didn't want to take him to the doctors with me. He was going to get bored, and doctors could take a while. And they've always helped me. They've never said no to watching them.
How about babysitters? Have you ever had anybody other than your parents?
Never.
No.
Well, besides my parents, my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, she's watched my son. She's watched. She's only watched my son. Actually, I'm
Mm-hmm.
lying. No, she's watched both of them. One time
Mm-hmm.
when we were in New York visiting, she watched both of them. We went. What did we go do? I don't remember what we went to do, but she watched both of them. It's only been her and my parents. That's it. Nobody else.
Nobody else. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's probably like our culture. I don't remember having a babysitter ever.
Oh, me either.
Um, yeah, I think it's part of probably our culture. Our culture
hmm
doesn't really rely on strangers. We almost,
Yeah.
I don't know, hesitate, I think. Um,
Yeah. The reason why I haven't had a babysitter that's not family, I don't know. It is trust. I just because I see your resume and you've worked with kids and you've worked with so many families,
mhm.
I don't know, there's still that, you know, I have to know you to be able to
Yes,
trust you around my kid. And
yes.
especially when you hear so many crazy things in the news happening, with kids. It's scary.
Yes, uh, well, baby girl is in school now,
Mhm.
and I trust them obviously. I consider them my village as well, because believe it or not, she's spending 6 hours, close to 6 hours over there. They
Mhm.
are my village. They are teaching her things. She is coming home talking about, Miss Caitlin and Miss Tony and all her teachers, and I know that I can trust them. but
Mhm.
but just having a random person coming to the house and taking care of her, or me taking her to a stranger's house, it has to be a culture shock for me. But I
Oh yeah.
do not judge any mothers who have to had to do that.
Oh
And
yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's moms they're forced to do that because they have to work. If they don't have, not everybody has a village. Not everybody lives around family. Not everybody's close to their family. So some people are forced to have to rely on a professional. Let's say, I don't want to say a stranger, but a professional to have to take care of their kid, whether it's at their own home or at their or the babysitter's house. It's like whenever I see a pregnant woman, I
Mhm.
literally in my head, I think like I hope she has, like a support system or a village. Like there's a pregnant woman in this building. She lives upstairs, and I don't know her. I've never spoken to her. Like one time we said good morning, but I kind of want to like introduce myself just so that she knows like if you need anything, I'm here. But I haven't made that move yet.
Oh my gosh, I encourage you to do that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm going to tell you my story about how my neighbor became part of my village.
Okay.
I told you about my pregnancy. I was really sick and I have plants outside. I know you're
Mhm.
a plant mom. So
Yes.
I used to spend my days, because I used to work remotely, miserably sitting down in this table or in the couch. But I was sick all the time and my
Mhm.
plants were dying. So this lady comes and knocks on my door, and she says, "By the way, just wanted to offer. I just want to offer my help in case you wanted me to water your plants." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." And I just thought, how weird, and I just thought like she need to mind her own business. because
Non-friendly, not friendly at all.
because there's clearly a reason why the plants are not being watered. There's clearly a reason, and then I just left it there. Maybe like a month or a few weeks later, she came and she brought me a Ziploc bag of fertilizer. That was like a combination of coffee and like eggshells. And she knocks on the door. I open and she's like, "I just brought some fertilizer for your plants."
Oh.
And I was just like, "Okay, thank you." And I even told my husband, the plant police came again, and so I went outside and I watered the plants, and I was not feeling okay. Look how bad I felt that I wasn't watering my plants. The
Mhm.
third time she came around, I forgot why she came, and I opened the door all the way and she saw my belly, because I was like, I think I had like a sport bra or something, and she
Okay.
just saw my belly and she's like, "Ah, you are pregnant!" And I was like, "Yeah," and I have no energy, and I just like went like, "I have no energy. I'm feeling sick. I'm not watering my plants. I'm not walking my dog." And she was just like, from there on,
Oh.
this lady knock on my door. "Here's some lentils for you. If you don't, if you," she would go like this to me. "Okay, they're not red. They're pink.
Mhm.
You need iron. You need some lentils." So she'll make me lentil soup, and
Is she like a medical professional?
she's a nutritionist. She's
Ah, okay.
she's 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 very knowledgeable. She will come and
Mhm.
help me with like, "Let's stretch because my back hurts. I can't sleep." She's like, "Let's do some stretching. Let's do some yoga."
Oh my God,
This
I
is all
love
about.
that.
Yes, and ever since Ari was born, she would come. Like if I needed to go to the bathroom, or if I needed to take a long shower, because like when you have a newborn, you're in and out, right? She was
Super,
like,
super, yeah.
"I got baby, you go take a long shower," or she will allow me to take a nap. Look how important having a village. 1 hour so I can nap. because
Yeah.
I the nights with newborns are seriously rough.
Yes.
And all because I let her in. Like I could have just been like, this lady needs to stop coming to my house.
Yeah.
You know, she was trying to help.
So I definitely want to reach out. I just gotta put my shyness and my, you know, not friendliness aside, and maybe like if I see her, because I rarely see her outside, but maybe if one day I see her outside, like I might, say something.
I love what you said about your husband being your village. Um, I really do think that Camilo and I have become each other's village when we are not surrounded by, family, because
Mm-hmm.
we live an hour away from family. So there is times where, like tonight, there's an event at work, and it's just like one of us have to go and the other one has to stay. And yesterday, it was him that went, and so maybe
Mm-hmm.
tonight it's me that goes, and whoever stays is it ends up they and whoever stays ends up working just as much as the other person when they go to work.
Yeah.
Because it's the staying, taking care of baby, the house, the meal, the night routine, the washing, and the putting her to sleep. So knowing
Yeah.
that I can trust him and count on him, and knowing that he can trust me and count on me, and we have each other's back, that's lovely. There's not um, any hesitations when it comes to our spouses. At least I know I
Yeah.
have heard women complain like I can, trust him or rely on him. But in our case, we're blessed enough that we could rely on our husbands.
Yeah. I feel like it's crazy if you're not able to trust the father of your kids. I mean, if you don't trust the other parent, who, how can you trust, let's say, a babysitter or like a stranger, you know?
Honestly, I'm so grateful for my mom and her village, because you hear those horrible stories about sexual harassment,
Mm.
and it's always someone that is close by. Um, because of that, it's so important that no matter how close your village is, to still be able to talk to our kids about, private parts,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is not to be touched, this is mommy and daddy only wipe, or
Mm-hmm.
certain things like that are so important, because you hear those stories and you're like, oh, it can't happen to me, and it could definitely happen to
Oh,
all of
yeah.
us.
And especially because a lot, like you said, it's people that are close. It's family members, close friends, like people that you would never think would do something like that. Those are the ones that would do it.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So,
yeah.
yes, there has to be obviously a trust with who you live your kid with, but also you can't, if there is signs, you can't ignore the signs.
Mm-mm.
And also, kids could read energy more than adults can because they're so innocent. So if your kid doesn't want to go with somebody, they cry, or they just don't want to go with a specific person, it's for a reason. So you can't just think, oh, they're just misbehaving or they're just being spoiled and still force them to go. You have to listen to your kid.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason why they don't want to go with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
And not forcing them. Not forcing them to give hugs, say hi.
Oh, yeah.
Well, say hi, maybe. Yeah, I would
Yeah, I
say.
mean, you can wave, you can high five, pound it, but don't force them to give them a kiss or a hug. I've told my parents that before. Like when, I don't know what, if we were somewhere, but mom was like, "Oh, say hi," and my son didn't want to, and I told my mom, "Stop." If he doesn't want to give somebody a hug or doesn't want to give them a kiss, he doesn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you teach the kid, when you force them, you teach them, well, even if I don't want to, I have to do it. So when an adult tells me, come here, let me hug you, my no doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're teaching them, basically. So yeah.
That's important. Yeah, I'm blessed. I know that these statistics are shocking, but I'm blessed to say that my mom protected us very well,
Hmm.
and I, nothing happened to us, but that's not everybody's case.
Yeah.
Um, so unless it's an emergency, I don't leave my daughter just anywhere.
Yeah.
And and I, trust my village. But I still teach Ari that there's no secrets between mom and her, and that we're best friends, and she can tell
Yeah.
me anything. Um, that's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah. And if ever a day comes when she does say something, I feel like our reaction is very important as well. Like if she tells you something, let's say, God forbid, something bad happened and you react like in a way that scares her, like you're mad or upset and she thinks like, oh my God, something's bad is gonna happen, that also matters.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, I
Gauge.
guess, try to keep the composure to not scare them, because then next time they're like, oh my God, my mom got so mad, I don't want to tell her again.
That's so true. That is true.
So yeah.
Social media also puts a lot of pressure on us. We talked about not being the ones that have a lot of friends. I mean, I don't have a group of girlfriends, let's just say,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
are my daughter's aunties or anything.
Yeah.
You have a sister, I have a sister. You know what I mean? It's like that's it to me.
Mhm.
And so sometimes social media puts those pressures like, oh, my village, and it shows like these girls that are all together.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, ooh, I don't have that.
Yeah, I feel that too. I'm like, that wanting to friends that are also moms and like everybody gets together and all of our kids, like, that's not reality for a lot of people. So
Mm-mm,
that's okay.
that it's okay.
Your village could literally just be one person. It doesn't have to be a huge amount of people. Romanticize it like, oh, this beautiful, you know, thing, like this big group, and we always get together and we always go to the park together, and our kids. It's not, I don't think that's not reality for a lot. Maybe for some, but not for a lot.
So for those who don't have a village, or maybe they didn't think they have a village and they're realizing, oh shoot, I have my parents and my husband. Um, but for those who really don't have a village, who are maybe
Mm-hmm.
living in another country temporarily,
Mm-hmm.
what do you recommend?
Hi. Well, even though I don't have my village physically here, like I literally talk to my parents every single day, multiple times during the day on FaceTime. So even though they're not physically here, emotionally, we still, they're still there for me.
Hmm.
So it doesn't have to be physical. They don't have to come here every day and physically help me with something. Having an emotional support is also having your village.
Hmm.
That's also what helps me, literally talking to them every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that once you reach out to this neighbor of yours, she could
Hmm.
become a village, especially 'cause
Yeah.
proximity. She's
Yeah.
close.
She's literally upstairs. Yeah, I'm gonna make it a point, a goal of mine to actually reach out to her. And
Yeah. So I told you about my best friend that lives in DC, and she's not a mom, but
mm-hmm.
whenever I have needed her, she literally, and she doesn't live here per se in the same state. Whenever
Mm-hmm.
I have needed her, she has booked a flight and come to me.
Mm-hmm.
And between her, my sister, and my sister's girlfriend, we have formed like a nice little group of women that are encouraging each other. None of them are moms. It's just me. I'm the only mom, but I consider them an extended branch of my village.
Yeah, I feel like your village, they don't necessarily have to be all moms. A village, they can show support in any way. They don't have to be a mom to understand you or to want to be there for you. Obviously, if they're a mom, it's a plus because they know what you've gone through and what you're going through. But I don't necessarily think that they have to be parents.
That's true.
You know?
What do you think are the downfalls of like just people or moms that don't have a village? That maybe think that they can do it all by themselves and they don't want to rely on anyone or bother, inconvenient. What could
The
come with that?
burnout, the stress. Obviously, like when we stress and when we're overstimulated, overwhelmed, our kids feel that. So I feel like that's definitely one of the main things, the burnout.
Yeah, I agree.
Hmm.
For when I was in the first stages of like becoming a mom, it was hard for me to ask for help because of what you mentioned, like the fear of judgment.
Hmm.
Um, so also, I think it's important to pick your village wisely because if there's a person that you're gonna let in for like to help, but then you feel uncomfortable or you feel the judgment or you feel that they're not bringing value, it's best to maybe avoid it.
Yeah.
Um, I know who I can come to in my case and say I need help. I remember going through a period of time where I was breastfeeding and I was just not feeling like I was not feeling well. Ended up going to
Hmm.
urgent care and they told me I was dehydrated. They put some IV on me and then they said, okay, you have a kidney infection. You are severely dehydrated and you need to stop breastfeeding like right now because we're going to put you on antibiotics for 2
Oh
weeks.
no.
I cannot go on antibiotics. I'm not going to stop breastfeeding. And the doctor says, yes, you are, because you need antibiotics. You can, it can be bad if you don't take antibiotics. And my mom was out of town. She was actually in Argentina.
Oh my God.
And I was like a crying mess. My husband used to be a firefighter. Sometimes he was gone for 2 to 3 days. And I just
Hmm.
remember calling my dad's wife and just telling her, I need help. Doctor says I'm dehydrated. I'm not feeling okay. I was having problems with my kidneys. I was going to the
Hmm.
bathroom all the time. And I was like, I don't think I had taken a shower in 2 days. I had Addie. And she told me, come. I literally packed whatever I could, clean clothes, dirty clothes. I packed everything in a bag, and I packed things for Addie, and I just drove. And when I got there, her embrace alone,
Oh,
her embrace alone made me tear up.
yeah.
And I think I slept. Maybe I got there like 7, 8 p.m. and I slept till the next day. And she took care of Addie. They had bought like milk for her, and then I realized that I don't think because I don't let my wall down, for people to see me when I'm down. But
Hmm.
you have to choose the right person.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You definitely have
Yeah.
to choose the right person. I told my mom, like, Mom, you're not here. I'm okay. I'm okay, and I'm so glad that I did reach out because I don't think that I would have been okay if I reaching out to anyone else other than her.
Yeah. Wow. That's, yeah, you do have to choose wisely. Not everybody's going to take care of you or have like that um compassion to help you when you need
Hmm.
it most. Oh.
Yeah,
Did you reach out to her first or you reached out to your dad? Or it was just like for like automatically her?
I reached out to her first, and there was I think that's what brought us the closest because I had not brought my wall down then, but not
Hmm.
necessarily because of her. I think I want to be stronger than I am sometimes, and And that particular moment, I felt really low, and I needed
Yeah.
to be taken care of. And she took definitely look. It was so
Uh,
bad. I got there. I got there. I gave her everything, and I don't know what happened, but I peed on myself. I peed on myself.
dang.
It was like something was off. I was off, and she took care of me and baby for
Oh my
like
God.
4 or 5 days. And that's what got us really close, because honestly, she didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she could have, and then I could have felt judgment.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially her, like, obviously she's not your mom. Like, she is your stepmom, basically, right? Do you consider her a stepmom?
she is my stepmom, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not like she raised me.
No, of
So
course, yeah.
it's not like that motherly bond. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
almost like
she's your dad's wife.
she's my dad's wife,
Yeah.
and I met her as a grown ass woman, not as a
Yeah.
baby, not as a little
Mm-hmm.
girl. Um, but her motherly ways made her part of my village. So yeah, for definitely for anybody that doesn't have a village, sometimes it's us, our own insecurities and our own maybe thoughts of perhaps being vulnerable
Judgment.
and in judgment.
Yeah. It's okay to need help. We're human. It's okay to ask for help. We can't do, like we said before, we can't do everything alone or even at once.
Hmm.
Especially in your case, you were physically sick. So, yeah, there's going to be times where you're going to need help, and that's okay. The last thing I will have to say is just try to find your village, but don't feel pressure to do it either. If you feel like you need to reach out for help, whether it's emotional, physical, try to reach out to the people that you trust. Don't be scared to ask for help. Make sure it's someone that's not going to judge you. Obviously, there are people that are judgmental. So, like you said, choose who's in your village wisely.
Hmm.
But definitely don't be afraid to ask for help.
Hmm.
And that's also what we're trying to do here, build a little online village.
Yes, and I feel that even if it's just me and you for a little while, I
Hmm.
definitely feel it because you tell me your stories, and then I pick and choose. Okay, this is great. What Puma's doing? How do I accommodate my own routine to some of the things that she's doing? And then I share my struggles and also what works for me, so that hoping that it can help you as well.
Yeah, we don't necessarily have to raise our kids the same to be in a village. We don't have to agree with everything 100% to be in the village. It's just showing that support. So that is it for today's episode. And we really do hope that you guys find your village, whoever, wherever that is. And if you don't have one, we are here for you.
Yes.
All right. And before we go, we do want to take a deep breath in and let this be your reminder that it is okay to slow down. It's okay to ask for help and embrace your growth and embrace every phase that you go through. And thank you for being here with us on Different Faces. Till next time.
Bye.